This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
Hello, this is Kevin Martini, the branch manager and senior mortgage strategist of the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage. And I'm also the host of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, and this is the silver edition of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Now, I say silver edition because this is our 25th episode. It's crazy, 25 down and many more to come. You know that silver is a precious metal. And you know what else is also precious? Home ownership. Home ownership is precious. With an open heart, I believe real estate creates a path to wealth, and wealth creates freedom. Right now, there's a ton of headlines that may be preventing you from wanting to secure your deserved freedom that homeownership offers. Let's call episode 25 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast Confusion. To clear this confusion, let me simply and effectively share what is taking place in the market right now. You see, there's a ton of chatter that the housing market is slowing down. Now, let me be transparent. In some markets in the United States, there is a slowdown. However, this is not the case in Raleigh, in Cary, in Apex, in Wake Forest, or any place in the Triangle of North Carolina for that matter. Every month, a company called CenturyLock provides the National Association of Realtors with data on the number of properties shown by realtors. You see, CenturyLock lock boxes are used in about a third of all home showings across the United States. With this data, the foot traffic report is created. Now, it's my opinion and the opinion of others that foot traffic has a strong correlation with future contracts and future home sales. It is a leading indicator or a sneak peek what could happen in the actual future. Every single month in 2018, again, let me say it one more time, every single month in 2018, foot traffic has been up and over last year's numbers. Friends, the buyer has not disappeared. They are looking and maybe not finding what they're looking for, or they are beat out by another buyer. There's no question in my mind that renters want to become home buyers. However, the challenge and the story that no one is sharing, there is not enough properties available in their price range. One could make an argument that buyer demand is softening if they looked at sales. However, there's not enough product to sell. You see, if you have less product to sell, that means there's going to be less sales. That's the real story. Now, are there things that a home buyer can do to become more competitive? And the answer is yes. First off, I have found that sellers do not like internet lenders. I have found that sellers want to accept an offer from someone that is not just ready and willing. They want that home buyer to be able. I have found that sellers have a higher trust with a local lender that has a strong reputation of closing on time and has a stress-free environment. For the record, that is what I do with the Martini Mortgage Group. That is what Alex Martini does, and that's what Logan Martini does with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage. I have confirmation last week that a seller made a decision to accept my client's offer based on my reviews on Zillow. Who your approval letter comes from matters in any market. I have found that sellers prefer a better than cash offer. To be frank, a Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage approval letter is better than cash. You see, many cash buyers have their money tied up in an investment, and it can take time, or they have to wait for market timing to exit from those investments. When one is approved with the Martini Mortgage Group, they are able to make a better than cash offer, and they can close in under 2 weeks. Again, yes, one can do many things to make their offer more attractive, and it's not just paying over list price. I said it earlier, renters want to become homeowners, and it is because the alternative is not pretty, in my opinion. Every year since 1988, that's 30 years, the median asking rent has gone up. According to the Downtown Raleigh Alliance, the average rent is $1,444 in Raleigh. Check this Martini Factor talking point out. Once you get a house and you have a fixed rate mortgage, you pretty much have locked in your housing expense for the next 30 years. Now, I know what you are saying. Kevin Martini, what about taxes and insurance? Well, yes, you are correct. I mean, taxes are going to go up and home insurance premiums might go up too, but those could be negligible. At the end of the day, basically, you're locked in. Here's the situation with rent. Again, going all the way back for the last 30 years, you will find it keeps climbing. And what you need to know, when you get a fixed rate mortgage, you're locking in your housing costs. All right, I know what you are saying right now. You are concerned with price, specifically where they are at today. Now, as I shared in my fall 2018 homebuyer guide called Things to Consider When Buying a Home, which you can, of course, get a free copy by going to www.martinibuyerguide.com. On page 8, I wrote a killer article entitled, Do You Know the Cost of Waiting? In the article I share, if you are a seller, you need to be concerned with price. However, if you are a buyer, you need to be most concerned with cost, not price. You see, a seller must be most concerned where home values are headed over the short term. But a buyer, you must be most concerned about long-term cost of your home. Maybe you're just not concerned about price, but what's heavy on your heart is you're concerned that you cannot afford to purchase a home and you need to rent. Perhaps in some markets in the U.S., this is a true statement. However, it's not in the Triangle of North Carolina. I believe you cannot afford to rent and you need to buy. Based on the Trulia Rent versus Buy Index, the data showed that it is 26.3% cheaper to own a home than to rent in the U.S. Now, this 26.3% is a national number. Looking at the national numbers just going back 2 years ago, it was 41.5% cheaper. Now, there's no question, and it's not a news flash, it's not a developing story, it's not breaking news. There is no question it was better 2 years ago. However, I'm reminded of that old adage. You know, when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. So when's the second best time to plant a tree? It's right now. So yes, it was cheaper to own a home versus renting 2 years ago, but now is still a good time to own versus renting. If you or your family want to explore options to buy, now is the time, and buying sooner than later could save you not just thousands, tens of thousands, especially since experts believe that not just home prices will continue to rise, but also will home loan rates. I have firsthand confirmation that there's a ton of myths associated with getting a mortgage, and I have a news flash. They are just myths. One myth is that your credit has to be perfect. That myth is busted with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage. We offer home loans with a credit score as low as 580. Another myth is that you have to put 20% down, and that is simply not the case. Just last week, I helped a repeat home buyer purchase a home with no down payment. You heard me correct. A repeat home buyer purchase a home with no down payment. The low and the no down payment options are not exclusive to first-time home buyers. My parents always used to share with me, there is no substitute for education. If you or someone you know is thinking about buying a home and want or need trusted advice from someone that has a servant's heart, I invite you to give me a call. My direct phone number is 919-238-4934. If you are on the Instagram, follow me at Kevin Martini Live. If you want help, or if you have questions, I am here. Just give me a jingle. Again, my direct dial number is 919-238-4934. Thank you for tuning in to the Silver Edition, episode 25 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Know that our family is your family lender.
You're listening to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Powerful information to help simplify and effectively explain the process of buying a home and securing a mortgage. Because it's not just a house, it's a home. The information contained in this podcast presentation is for general product information purposes only. Arklatex Financial Services, LLC, NMLS number 2143, doing business as Benchmark Mortgage, makes no representations or warranties of any kind expressed or implied about the completeness, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the information, products, or services. All loans subject to borrower qualifying. Other restrictions may apply. Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS number 143962. Branch located at 5650 Six Forks Road, Suite 101, Raleigh, North Carolina 27609. Contact the branch by calling 919-238-4934. Equal housing opportunity.